Right. So if you're preparing for a GCSE, one of the first things you will need to know is which exam board you are studying with. Right now, in the UK, there are several major GCSE exam boards such as AQA, PES and AXL, OCR, WJEC, and CCEA. Now, although you're studying towards the same GCSE qualification, the specification assessment, structure, style of the question, and marking requirement can vary on exam board. Right, so in this video we are going to look at each exam board separately for mathematics and understand exactly how the GCSE assessment work as students are expected to know. Right now, we are going to start with AQA mathematics. We will look at how AQA assessment are structured, what the examiner are looking for, and some of the important information, the AQA specification that students often overlook. Now, once we cover AQA, we will move on to the other major exam board, including EdXL, OCR, in the following videos. Let's start with AQA GCSE assessment and understand how they actually work. Right, so there is something really important that I think every student needs to understand, right? And that is, what is the examiner actually looking for in your answer, right? We spend a lot of time learning the subjects, revising the topics and trying to remember as much as information as possible, you know, and of course that's important, but knowing the topic is only a part of a job. You know, so whether we are doing AQA, EdXL, OCR, or any other example, you need to understand how you are actually being assessed, you know, because quite often I see students who genuinely understand the topic. You ask them a question in the lesson and they can explain it perfectly well, right? But then you give them a question on exactly the same topic and suddenly they are losing marks. So what going on? Okay, so very often there is a gap between what the students knows and what examiner expect to see in an answer. Right, and that's why alongside your subject knowledge, I think there is two really important things that you need to understand. Right, so what are those two important things? Number one, how your answer are assessed and what examiner expects from you. And number two, specification of your particular exam board. So in this video, we are going to focus specifically on assessment for AQA exam board and how AQA assesses students, right? And what the examiner is looking for and what you need to think when you are answering the exam question, right? So we will look at things such as what does the question actually want you to do, how much detail is expected, how are the marks avoided, and what separates an answer that simply shows some knowledge from an answer that actually pick up the marks. When you are doing the past paper practice, you shouldn't be just checking whether your answer is right or wrong, right? So you should be asking why this answer get the marks. All right, and most importantly, what was the examiner expected to see, right? Okay, so once you start understanding that, past paper practice become more useful, right? You're not simply just practicing question anymore, you are learning how to communicate. So how does the AQA GCSE math assessment actually work? Let's break it down. GCSE mathematics has a foundation tier and a higher tier. So the foundation tier has a grade from 1 through 5 and the higher tier which is grade between 4 and 9. So student must take 3 question paper out of the same tier and all question paper must be taken in the same series. Now we will understand what's the same series. Now, in AQA GCSE, all question paper must be taken in the same series. What does that mean? So that means a student must say all exam paper that period. So for example, suppose an AQA GCSE subject has paper 1, which usually occurs in May and June 2026, let's say, paper 2, May and June 2026, paper 3, May and June 2026. So student must take all papers in May and June 2026 exam series, right? They cannot take the paper 1 in June 2026 and then they keep the result and take the paper 2 in 2027 June. Right, so that's what exam series is. So
now coming back, what comprises of the subject content. So the subject content section shows the content that is assessed in each tier. The table below, as you can see, is same for both foundation and the higher tier. So the paper 1, paper 2 and paper 3. The paper 1 is a non-calculator, paper 2 is a calculator, and paper 3 is a calculator. So as you can see, paper 1 is assessed based on the content from any part of the specification that may be assessed, right? And the exam is like 1 hour, 40 minutes, 80 mark, non-calculator, and 33 1/3 of the GCSE mathematics. You will get a mix of question style from short single mark question to multi-step problem, and mathematically demand increase as the student progress through the paper. Now in the paper 2, the content from any part of the specification may be assessed, right? Now specification, that is, will be our next part of the video, which we will see. Now how is assessed? Again the same, 1 hour 30 minutes, 80 marker, calculator is allowed here, and 33 1/3 of the GCSE mathematics is assessed, right? Question, again, it can be a single marker question, multi-step problem, etc. Right? Now paper 3, again, it can be any part of the specification, 1 hour 30 minutes, 80 marker, 33 1/3 of the GCSE mathematics assessment, and again it can mix of question style from single mark question, multi-step problem. In regards to the subject content, as you can see, these are the topics, and remember these topics are same for the foundation and the high tier, is just the weightage differs. So for example, number system, foundation cover 25%, while the higher tier is 15%. Algebra 20-30 ratio 25-20, geometry 15-20, probability and statistics combined at 15-15.
and that brings us to the second important part, the specification. So that's going to be the focus of our next video. We will look specifically at the AQA specification, what it actually tells you, why the student use it, and how you should use the specification as a roadmap for your GCSE's preparation. So remember, this video is understanding the AQA assessment and examiner expectation. In the next video, we will understand the AQA specification, because getting a strong GCSE isn't only about knowing the subject, it's about knowing what expected from you and learning how to demonstrate it in the exam. Right? Thank you. See you in the next